Hi everyone, this is a pick a card reading for urgent love messages that you need to hear right now. So we have these four beautiful piles, and whichever one you're most drawn to is going to be the reading for you. So take your pick. I actually put the crystal upside down. But literally, just look at that. Wow. You know, my skills today are matching the Mercury retrograde that is also taking place. Anyways, so there we go. By the way, this is a timeless reading, so whenever you watch this, it doesn't need to be on the date that I posted it. It will be still, well, timeless. So yeah, so we have here group 1, we've got group 2, group 3 and group 4. All the information, the timestamps are down below, but also if you're interested in a private reading, that is also down below as well. They're done within 12 to 24 hours with me. So the links are down below to my website, and also on my website there are intention manifesting items which thousands of people have seen results with. So that's really exciting for sure to see. So if you wanted to see the review section, it's at the bottom of my website. There's bracelets, necklaces, anklets, pom-poms, tassels, embroidered cards which you can put under your pillow. There's also intention pouches with different spices and herbs for, again, different intentions. And of course there's also candles as well, which are genuinely really selling out. I mean, if you went on the website, you'll see that a lot of the candles are pretty much sold out. So there are still, I think, a few here and there that are in stock for different intentions, so just be wary of that. I know I am advertising it, but they are selling quick. Oh, and they're also handmade and hand poured, and they are plant-based, safety tested, and very convenient also to travel with if you needed to. All right, so with that being said, we can get started with a reading. I'm going to start here with group 1. If you're drawn to more than one pile, feel free to watch more than one group. That's not a problem at all. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to move these to the side. There we go. And we get started. Alright, so group number 1, let's have a look and see urgent love messages for you. Alright, so you've chosen this blue crystal, and we're going to see what's coming through. Let me just switch my scrunchie to the other hand, it's a bit distracting. Okay, so I'm just going to put that right there. And your first message here is forgiveness. Stop focusing your energy on past events, for life is too precious to wait. You create your reality by what you think, dream, and imagine. So I really believe that one of the most urgent love messages, considering this is the main card of your reading, is to essentially set yourself free of the past, and you'll find that love will really flourish for you in the present and in the future. It's true, like what we put our mind and our thoughts to, especially if things have happened in the past and we replay those in our present, first of all, it goes to show that we haven't really been able to heal from it, and that it's still something that bugs us or triggers us, and any kind of trigger that we feel can be dissolved with healing. Healing is literally letting go and having acceptance, but it is a process, so don't force yourself to feel like you have to heal straight away. Healing is not a linear process. It can be so confusing and so overwhelming and actually quite time consuming as well, but it really is about staying on that path which can help you. The other thing as well is that the more you're thinking about the negativity of past events that have happened, the more that also shapes up the present and the future, right? If something's really bugging you in this moment, that energy is still getting intertwined with the law of attraction. So that is another thing to keep in mind as well, is that that energy can actually attract more of that. Hence, if you're waiting for something to happen and waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting, you're not really detached. Remember, detachment is the key to the law of attraction. Too much attachment can actually cause resistance, where then actually, if you're waiting for something to happen, right, you're putting that energy into the universe, and therefore the next day you're also waiting. Then, because you're waiting, the next day then you're also waiting, thus creating this chain of events, right? So that's really important. And again, forgiveness. Now, forgiveness is a very tricky topic. Not everybody wants to forgive, not everybody can forgive, but at some point, there comes a point where, I guess in the easiest way to describe this, there comes a point where you just won't care. And that literally makes it so easy in so many ways, doesn't it? Because you'll just be like, it is what it is. That's it, and I think that makes it easier. Oftentimes when people cannot forgive, it just, it's one of those things. They just can't forgive, and that's okay. But it goes to show that there needs to be further healing that happens. So this is a very important love message. I know that some of you might be like, what is this? But ultimately it's so important for the future of your love life, for further things to come, for further situations in love, and to allow it to flourish, we also have to be able to stop focusing so much of our energy on the past. I wouldn't say stop thinking about your past altogether, cold turkey, because then what will happen is that you'll think about it even more. It's really about the healing process that is being talked about. Okay, let's go now with, so that was the biggest message I can tell you. Let's see, okay, with tarot, what else I can tell you. Yeah, so we've got the Five of Wands here, Three of Pentacles, there we go, King and Queen of Wands, fire energy, double fire energy. Some of you may be confused about a fire sign, but also what I see here is that there can be a change in terms of a fire sign connection. So, whether you're a fire sign or not, or whether there's someone else that's a fire sign, I really see here that there is something with a fire sign. So I'm just going to say that. And to be honest, it could be Sun, Moon, Rising, or Venus sign that they could have that fire sign in. But I just feel here that there's just such a powerful and very, very potent energy of the King and the Queen of Wands, which does show that love will come your way. But it's also about trying to resolve a lot of this chaos and conflict and frustration and sadness that you currently feel, which is definitely quite overwhelming for many of you and is also quite challenging for many of you. And that's one of the biggest things that I do see here, especially with the Three of Pentacles. It's also about just knowing that someone here will come your way, but it's also going to be when you feel like a queen or a king, and you feel happy, you feel strong, you feel uplifted, and you're not depending on the other person necessarily. So I do see that some of you may have issues with codependency, where you're relying on the other person for happiness and things like that. But I really feel like as soon as you accept your personality, your strengths, your weaknesses, who you are, and that again can be really achieved with healing, believe it or not. Again, healing is a real process in itself, but it can really bring through some really beautiful energies here, especially with the Three of Pentacles. Three of Pentacles really does show teamwork and collaboration. So I do feel here that love is workable, but in the current, present time, there's a lot of inner work I feel that needs to be done at this time. So that's another thing to really keep in mind for sure as we are picking up on. Okay, so actually I shouldn't have done that. Sorry, I have like my wire that is just hanging on the side. Okay, so let's keep going. Five of Swords, Eight of Cups. Okay, yeah. So you see here, there's just this sense of, especially for those of you that are in a separation, where you felt like someone walked away from you and betrayed you, and yet you cannot move forward from that. There's definitely this sense here of this card making a lot of sense. In the past, something has happened that has frustrated you and overwhelmed you. For those of you that are completely single, you may be really resenting the fact that you are completely single and quite upset about the fact that you're single and everyone else seems to be in relationships or seems to be with other people. And so that's the thing, is that I really do feel like, look, you will be in your own relationship. It just is a process, but there's a lot of inner working that needs to be done at this time. So it's not like the universe is against you or anything. It isn't. It really isn't. The universe is with you. It's just a process. That's it, So I think that can be so frustrating when you sort of think about it. It can be really frustrating because in so many ways you might be thinking, why is that the case? Like, what is the purpose of all of this? But that really is the purpose, is that it's the process. The purpose is that it is the process. Yeah. Let's keep going. For life is too precious to waste. Life is too precious to waste. You create your reality by what you think, dream, and imagine. So instead of thinking of the chaos, right? Thinking about yourself and how strong you are and how much you've been through, but how much you have really become stronger, more uplifted, more powerful. I think that is a pretty significant thing, very powerful as well. You also have here the Three of Wands. Three of Wands is really significant because the Three of Wands literally does represent such a powerful energy, which is about patience, but not waiting, you know. I don't recommend waiting again, because that can really create a chain of just waiting, 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 waiting. You want to do you want to take care of yourself, you want to heal, you want to put yourself first, so that things do come together the way you want it to and don't get further delayed. I just feel here that many of you are waiting for things to happen, but you're waiting and waiting and waiting, and you keep looking at that sort of clock or keep looking around you, and you're just wondering, why is nothing happening? Literally, why is nothing happening? I think that's because you're waiting. So the thing here is to just stay proactive, continue to do the things that you can do, and just let things naturally come together, because again, that's very important for sure. So the Eight of Cups here shows that actually, you know what, this is about retreating, taking care of yourself, looking out into the world, you're keeping your options open, and really just building yourself in terms of self-confidence, self-esteem, bringing that inner peace towards you. And also, I think forgiveness can really help as well. I know that a lot of people are very against forgiveness, and I always believe as well that, you know, if you really love, you know, someone, or if you have had a really terrible situation. Oh my gosh, there was a documentary that I watched, actually. Let me just tell you about this. And it's a very extreme thing, okay? There was a serial killer. I think was it the Green Ridge Killer, someone like that. One of, you know, he went basically on a killing spree. It's just so disgusting. I can't actually believe people do that. Anyways, so you know, it basically showed the entire documentary, and then in the end there was a family of one of the victims, and he basically, I think it was the father, he basically said something along the lines of whatever he did was just not great, obviously, but that he would issue forgiveness. And it was the first time that that killer actually cried and showed any kind of emotion. Forgiveness is really powerful, and I don't really think that forgiving someone who's, like, let's say, murdered someone is exactly the right thing. Like, I don't think I'd be able to do that. But it just goes to show you how much of a barrier it can really break, which is kind of crazy. Like, if anyone's seen that documentary, like, you know what I'm talking about. Like, you just wouldn't believe that something like that would really affect someone who's, like, so stone cold and unemotional, and it's crazy. But forgiveness is something that you do basically to set yourself free. That's it. And it may not seem very freeing, because you may feel like you're giving power to the other person, but I actually believe that that allows you to then move forward and do more for yourself. Otherwise, you're holding on to something, and that really eats away at you. It's more so for yourself than it actually is for the other person. And do you know what it does to the other person psychologically? When you forgive them, you don't have to physically forgive them and like tell them and stuff, but it's in your heart. It actually changes everything energetically, because then they actually feel like they have lost power. You've gained power. You may feel like you've lost power, but actually you've gained power, and then they have actually lost power. The reason why that happens and why you feel like it's the opposite is because you feel like you've just lost all control. It's the complete opposite. They know that what they've done no longer affects you, and that is the biggest gain on the entire planet. That's it. So I know that psychologically, you know, forgiveness is so hard for so many people, but it just is. If you can get to that point, it's one of the best points to get to. That's it, you know. It's like the summit of a mountain. Yeah. Anyways, very interesting reading, I have to say. Let's get a couple more cards. I'm not sure if it was the Green Ridge. Anyways, the point of this is, all right, that forgiveness can be so powerful, but it's not always for everyone straight away. So don't force yourself to need to forgive someone, because people get really angry too. And you might get really frustrated, like, Moonlight, I'm never going to forgive this person. Do you know what they did to me? And it's crazy. But I just had to give you that example, because even though it's a very extreme example, you can see that if someone like that can forgive, oh my goodness, you know, it is a very, very powerful thing. And actually, it brings power back to yourself. You know, it really does. It made that person vulnerable, completely vulnerable, whereas they were like this stone cold, unemotional person. And yet, you know, the victim of the family then now has taken back that power. And you would think it would be the opposite, like, oh, forgiving you gives you power. It actually does the opposite. I feel like that's going to open a lot of people's eyes with that analogy. So I really had to share it with you. Okay. Actually, do you know what? That was a very, like, important message. I really do believe so. So the Queen of Cups here is about, don't be afraid to be emotional. Don't be afraid to be yourself. You know, if you have had to suppress your emotions to try and please people, they clearly aren't the right person for you. And I think also with the Seven of Pentacles here is it's about thinking about your personal growth and just how far you have come. I think that one of the biggest things here is that you will see growth in terms of your love life, but it says it's going to grow in parallel to how much you take care of yourself, put yourself first, and do you. Because the more you're always focusing on others, the more it takes power away from you. It doesn't really give you that sort of uplifting energy. It just can feel so frustrating and annoying and overwhelming and just really challenging. So I would say do you, take care of you, put yourself first. That's the most important thing that you truly can do. Otherwise it can feel so frustrating and overwhelming and not great. So then there's that, you know. So yeah, I just feel here like make sure you do take care of yourself and put yourself first and do truly what is best for you. Otherwise it can just feel so overwhelming and not fun and not great and not nice. Yeah. The moral of the story is the stronger you feel within yourself and the more you take care of yourself, the more things shape themselves around you. And I'm not saying that if you feel really vulnerable, you need to get yourself chop to that queen level energy or the king level energy. It's a process to get there, but it's about staying on that path. Yeah, that's the most important thing as well. Okay, so basically, more of the story here is that you will have love, you will have joy, but it's also about not holding on so much to the past events. The past events keep you from living in the present. Remember, the present is the present. We want to be able to embrace the present so that we get more of the present in the future. Do you know what I mean? Like the present can be positive for the future as well. So that is your reading, group 1. If this resonated with you, of course, let me know in the comment section below. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Check out the description box below for information on private paid readings, free reading giveaway, and of course intention items, which are on my website as well, which thousands of people have seen results with. So yeah, definitely do check those out, and I'll see you all very soon. Yeah, take care everyone. Bye. Okay, let's put that there, let's put that there, let's put this here. Group 2, hello. These are an urgent love message for you. So there's a big underlying message, and then we're going to also pull tarot as well to see what else I can tell you. So these, yeah, urgent love messages. Well, I guess they are messages. Yeah, anyways. So you have chosen this beautiful pink crystal. We'll put it right there. This card is so soothing to look at. So beautiful. Okay, so let's see what this message here is. So it says, you may not always understand why certain things happen. However, there is always a higher purpose to the events in your life. Throughout turmoil, a blessing will soon be revealed. Okay. You know, I feel like I don't really need to give any kind of explanation to that card because it's so true. Sometimes in life things happen and we think, oh my god, the universe is against us. This was so totally bound to happen to me. Like, of course, it's only my luck. It's my luck that things like this happen to me, obviously. You know, and then we soon realize after, it could take, you know, months, it could take years sometimes, or it could take weeks, and we think to ourselves, okay, I know why that happened, and it was a blessing. So there we go. If you are in a, let's say, a tumultuous situation full of turmoil and struggle, and you just are thinking, I don't know what is going to happen, Moonlight. I have no idea what's going to happen. I have no idea how things are going to come together, and I have no idea where things are going. Trust me, things will get better. I really genuinely do believe that. I really see that here as well, and I really do feel like it is for your highest good in so many ways, that things will progress and get better and you'll feel happier and stronger and more uplifted. It is a process. Processes are not always easy. It is not always simple, but I really just feel that there's going to be some beautiful blessing that is going to give you a lot of happiness in regards to love. So it's basically saying here that things are going to come together. Let's see actually what we see here. Well, we have an Aries energy, okay, very powerful Aries energy. So I feel like there's an option here who is an Aries. Okay, so to me, the Two of Wands actually shows that you have options and choices. If you feel like you are only destined to be with like one person and you have that one person's name stuck in your mind, I do feel that you have other options and choices. If you're single, I also do see this Aries energy. Okay, even if you're, say for example, you're in a situationship, or you know things are just not going well, let's be honest, there seems to be other options here that I do pick up on. Okay, we also have the Two of Cups, which does show that you're not going to be out of love in this life. You will have lots of love, you will have happiness, you will have joy, you will have fulfillment, you will have the things that you want, and things will come together for you, things will progress. It just is, again, a process. Okay, so trust the process. Focus on the journey rather than just the destination. Things will come together for you, things will progress, you will find happiness, you will find joy. It really just is a process. And then you've got here the Ten of Swords. Sorry, I had to say it like that. Anyways, Ten of Swords. See, this is the stuff that really gets you down, because some of you have really struggled in regards to your love life, right? Some of you may even be just really hurt over things that have happened in the past, things that you can't get over, or certain people that keep going round and round in your mind, like, why didn't that work out? Why didn't that come together? What was the purpose of that? I don't understand. You know, so the Two of Wands really does show that I really do feel here that it literally says here, you may not always understand that. And that's the thing. That's literally what spirit guides are saying as well. Well, you may not understand it. It's true. You may not. You don't need to understand it. That's the thing, is that so many people, they feel like they need closure. They feel like they need to 100% dissect everything and know exactly what is what. Sometimes it's best to not know. And I know that sounds a little bit strange, but you know what? Sometimes no news is good news. And I just feel here as well that with the World card as well, is that otherwise sometimes it just honestly takes a toll on you. And I just feel here that the urgent love messages that I specifically see is that ultimately you have so much power in your hands. I really feel like the Emperor energy, you know, some of you may even be in Aries watching this, so the Aries energy will resonate in some way, and you'll know that in the future. Again, it may not make so much sense right now, but in the future, I think that many of you will look back and you'll be like, that Aries energy, you know, makes sense to the reading. So the Two of Cups really does show that there is love in your destiny. And even with the Two of Wands as well, you have options and choices, which means that you get to choose who you want to be with in the context of you having multiple options, which means that if there's one person that has really upset you, annoyed you, frustrated you, and you feel like you can't let go of them, you know, you have other options apart from that person who can perhaps even treat you so much better. So keep that in mind, because I just feel here that you have not been treated in the best way, in the nicest way, in the kindest way. And I feel like sometimes people can be so cruel and so not nice. But the thing here is that you're not like that. Simples. Okay. You get my point? You get my point? Like, you're not them. So of course, you're not going to treat people like that. Some of you have really struggled, okay, with love life. Actually, do you know what? Strength card also flipped over. It's really cold in here. I'm trying to figure out if I can put a jacket on somehow. 1 second. Okay, actually, do you know what? I'll do that whilst I'm talking. It's just that I keep moving the microphone. So, if you hear that sound, I do apologize. Okay, 1 second. Let me see if I can do this. All right. So, whilst I do this in the background, the Strength card. Okay, a strong love life situation will unfold. Believe and it will manifest. Okay, the Magician here as well shows someone you can actually communicate with. Yes, someone who you don't have to walk on eggshells for, you know, and I think that is just so significant. Look, Seven of Wands. Some of you literally had to walk on eggshells just to keep somebody happy, and you're just thinking to yourself like, wow, is this my life or what? You know, and that's the thing, you shouldn't really have to walk on eggshells. Remember, in life there are so many other things that we need to worry about aside from just how someone is feeling on a day-to-day basis. It's good to be supportive, but not to the detriment of your own emotions. Very important thing to know about. Magician is very powerful though. I think with the Magician, what's really important and very significant is that I really do see communication, and I see his satisfaction, and I see joy. For those of you that have been through separations and you are just feeling very down, you know, and just over it and just not great, a blessing will soon be revealed. Now, the blessing varies from person to person. For some of you, it could be that, especially if you're like really wanting this person back, it can be that this person re-enters. However, if you do not want this person to enter, then obviously it's not going to be your blessing, right? That's not going to be a blessing to you. That's going to be a curse to you. So no, that's not going to be what happens. For others of you, what's going to happen is a new person, a new option will come through. If you are completely single and you're thinking, Moonlight, I've never had love in my life, okay, so I don't know what you're on about, that's okay, because essentially a new person will come through who can actually treat you well and treat you right, someone who you can communicate with and you can really discover this aspect of love through, you know. So I just feel here that for many of you, a blessing will be revealed. So the most urgent message here is guys, everybody, girls and guys, you know, or however you identify. You may not literally understand what the heck is happening right now. You may feel defeated, you may be feeling frustrated, you may be feeling upset, but that's okay, because a blessing is coming your way to make you feel so much stronger, to make you feel so much more satisfied, to make you feel so much more loved. There is an option. I see a very strong Aries energy. I also see a very strong Leo energy. That fire is very, very powerful here. And also we see the Magician. The Magician is powerful because it really goes to show that you can communicate with this person, ideas, decisions, information. You can talk to them about things without having to walk on the eggshells, which, you know, we don't need these days. No, we don't need to be walking on eggshells when there are so many other things happening in life that we have to worry about and be, you know, well, we don't have to be stressed about them, but, you know, life will bring us stress. It's one of those things, right, from time to time. And that's the thing, is that if you're so worried about just your love life, I mean, imagine the love life should be something that is supportive, that allows you to get through other problems in life. If your love life is the problem in your life, then obviously, you know, it's something that really has to be worked out. Otherwise, you know, it causes even more stress to all the other things in life. So that's the other thing as well, is that there are so many other things in life, you know, that we have to try and focus on, that if this is not going so smooth, it can really upset, you know, and trigger you know, a whole host of other things. So that's really the biggest thing I'll say, is that honestly, look, I feel like things will come together and things will progress. You will be okay. I feel you will be okay and things will be okay. It may not seem okay or feel okay right now, but I really feel like it's going to be okay. Okay, so, wow, how many times did I say okay? Many times. Right, let's keep going. Yeah, Two of Swords. Many of you just feel so indecisive, very confused, what to do. Honestly, if you're in a situationship with this person right now, let them come to you. Let them work towards you. It shows you their true colors. It shows how much they can do. You know, you do you. You take care of you. I think that's very important. If you're always running after this person, what does it teach them? Oh yeah, I'm always going to run after, I'm always just going to do whatever, and this person's always going to run after me. You know, is that really what you want? I think that's another question to ask for sure. I just feel here, honestly, that if you're going through a really tough time in regards to love, I just want to assure you and tell you that the blessing is coming, but make sure you put yourself first. That's another really important thing. Otherwise, it really can hurt you, you know, and obviously I don't want that for you. I don't want that for any of my wonderful viewers. Yeah. Okay, well, the good news here is that there's a blessing, okay? There's a blessing coming your way, but obviously how to manage things right now is to try and take care of yourself, to try and, you know, fill up your cup first. You want a cup that is full in return. Why accept a cup that has got like a few drops in it, right? Right? Yeah. Okay. Well, regardless of whether you're single, regardless of whether you're in a separation, a situationship, or any other situation, I really feel here that you will have love, you will have strong love, and it comes as a result of you really putting yourself first and building those healthy boundaries so that people know how to treat you, so that if you're always the one doing everything, they'll become very reliant on the fact that you always do everything. And what does that teach them further? It teaches them that you always do everything. That's painful, hurtful, sad, frustrating, overwhelming, and extremely upsetting. And so ultimately, you want to make sure that you can take care of yourself and put yourself first, right? So yeah, I would definitely say here that, look, love is coming your way, but it also comes to you when your cup is full for yourself. So what I would recommend is doing meditation. I would recommend shadow work healing. I would definitely recommend as well, these are all things that actually well, shadow work healing and chakra cleansing are services that I offer. So if you are interested in that, it's all on my website. But meditation is something that you can do for free. You know, it's you and yourself and your breath and your body in a nice little space. That will help you a ton, because meditation naturally helps you to detach and focus on yourself and put yourself first and look after you. So that's a really, really powerful thing that can absolutely help you and make you feel so much better. And I think that that just can be a very, very good thing. So yeah, highly, highly recommend that. So yeah, that is basically what I am seeing here. So that is pretty much your reading. All right, so group number 2. I know it was a bit of like, I wouldn't say it was a dark reading, but it was definitely not like, you know, like a perfect, this is perfect, and this is perfect, and this is perfect, but it definitely does go to show that there's a blessing coming for sure, you know. So even though you may not understand what's happening right now, that's okay, that's okay. Continue to focus on yourself and your path. Everything else will be illuminated as time goes by. So this is your reading group 2. If this resonated with you, let me know in the comment section below. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Check out the description box below for information on private paid readings, free reading giveaway, intention items, which are on my website, which thousands of people have seen results with, so you can check out the review section as well. Yeah, so everything is linked down below, and I will see you all very, very soon. Bye! Okay, so let's take these away. Let's take these away. Oh, crystal residue. Okay. Alright, group number 3. I just noticed as well your timestamp is 31:13. There's so many 3s there. How interesting. Okay, so these are urgent love messages for you. So we've got this beautiful crystal, which actually has this sort of iridescent tint to it. I'm not sure how great the camera is going to pick that up, but it's so cool. And I just felt like it went so nicely with this card as well. Don't you agree? Or is it just me? Must let me know. Anyways, so we have here this particular card, and your main message here is let there be closeness between you, but always give each other space. Love never claims, it simply allows and gives. Okay, this is a very universal message, right? Whatever kind of situation you're you're in, whether you're completely single and you have nobody around you, or whether you do have somebody around you, or whether you're in a separation with someone, this is such a universal reading in my opinion. So if you feel like I'm talking about so many different situations, well, that's why it's a very universal message, right? That can really apply to your situation regardless of the situation you're in. I just feel here as well that if you feel like you always have to do, search, find, always be the one doing everything, it just works against you in so many ways, because the thing about love is that it also works with duality, right? Is that yes, there can be closeness, but it's also very important to give space, otherwise it's not in moderation, right? So it's sort of that energy, especially with the law of attraction, is that yes, we can have good, but also there can be the not so great to balance things out. So it's like life, you know, we have happiness, we have sadness. There are days that are hot, there are days that are cold or cooler, let's say, depending on where you live. And that's the thing, is that we have to have sort of that balance in love as well. And I think that that's very important. So yeah, let there be closeness, but also give each other space. Very, very important, because otherwise things can feel like suffocated, things can feel intense, things can feel very challenging. So for example, even if you're searching for love, let's say, and you're thinking to yourself, moonlight, there's nothing around me, but I need there to be something around me. Well, it's okay. You know that you want something. You can always manifest, but then let it go. Give yourself some space from what you are holding on so tightly to. That's going to allow it to actually come to you. So that's another really big thing that I'm seeing here as well. Now let's have a look at tarot and see. Just kind of laugh at how I just said that. Moonlight. I don't think anyone's going to say it like that. It's just me. Okay. By the way, my actual name does mean moonlight. Hence, it's Moonlight Guidance, you know, because I'm guiding you. Alright, anyways, so we have here the 8 of Pentacles with the 5 of Wands here. Yeah, so I feel like a lot of the group readings, honestly, they really just overlap. So, I mean, if you wanted to watch the other group readings as well, I probably would encourage you to do so. I just feel like a lot of the messages are so similar. I feel like so many of you need to hear these type of messages, but basically the Eight of Pentacles is this energy of like continue to work on yourself, continue to do the things that you love, okay, the things that make you feel happy and make you feel good. If someone around you, for example, makes fun of the fact that you love to do whatever it is that you do, well then that's part of who they are. And that's the thing, is that even in regards to love, if you found that there was like a lover or someone who would make you feel so insecure about your work and the things that you do, honestly, that's them, that's on them, and you shouldn't let that affect who you are and the things that you love to do. I think that's really important, because I feel like some of you have just felt so invalidated by the work that you do, because you feel like it's not good enough, or it's not good enough to be what others are looking for, right? So I just feel here that continue to do what you're doing, because there will be someone who appreciates what you do. And I think that's very important. Even if you're completely single, enjoy what you do, love what you do, embrace what you do, because that's something that you love. And the universe knows how much you love it. Remember, the universe hears every conversation, sees everything that you put your hard work into. They see it. The universe is very important, you know. If there's someone that can take things away from you, it's the universe. If there's something that can give everything to you, it's the universe. But just because they don't give to you, or just because they take things away from you, does not mean that they are against you. It's a very important thing to know, right? Because sometimes it's a blessing. It genuinely is a blessing if something has not worked out. And I feel like so many people don't understand that, because it's so hard to understand. That's the thing, is it's hard to understand, and that's okay. If you cannot understand it, you cannot understand how that could potentially be a blessing, that's okay. Continue to do you. Continue to work on yourself. Continue to take care of yourself. You have no idea sometimes how the universe can intervene in connections that it feels are just not going to move in the right way, or if the person could hurt you in the future, or if there is something that you cannot see that they can see and they can hear. I'm talking about the universe, by the way. So the biggest thing I would say to you is that the universe is always working with you, okay? But there's also the law of duality. In order to give you something really great, sometimes the universe can disappoint at first, I'm not going to lie. But, you know, that's okay. It's not to say that you have to have bad in order to have good, right? I'm not saying that at all. But what I am saying is that the law of duality really does point here towards the fact of that energy that we spoke about very early on, is that it's really important here, especially with the Hermit, to know that if you're feeling lonely, if you're feeling upset, whether you're feeling lonely in a connection or whether you're feeling lonely because you don't have love around you, the most important thing here is that you have yourself. And I know that that sounds so cringy, and it's just like, oh, Moonlight, it's the typical stuff that everybody says. It's really true though. You have got yourself, and you also do have much more around you. You have ancestors, you have spirit guides, you have angels, you have the universe. If you believe in God, God is around you, right? And I think that's really important. I say that because not everybody does believe in God, so I just thought, I'd mention that. Everyone has like different beliefs, okay? So it is whatever you believe in, there is always a higher power around you, okay? And even those that are loved ones who have passed away, they're supporting you, and they may also be trying to remove obstacles from your life. So imagine if you have gone through a separation with someone who you genuinely liked a lot. Well, the universe, along with some ancestors, may have recognized that actually, do you know what, in the future this could be a very difficult situation for you. So let's try and do something now so that you don't feel the pain of it in the future. Now, the interesting thing here as well is that there's so many situations that I feel I have to read into. And that's the thing, okay, is that for some of you, there could be that this person comes back around. For some of you, there's a new person that could come. The moral of the story here is to do you, take care of you, and life will shape itself around you. So I just feel here that the most universal message is that regardless of the kind of situation that you are in or you have been in, the biggest thing here is that there will be a surprise. There will be happiness, there will be joy, and the Eight of Pentacles is the most important thing. Continue to work on the things that you love to do. Continue to do the things that give you joy, that give you fulfillment and happiness. And anything that gives you this kind of stress, it is worth to redirect your energy back to yourself, especially if someone's being hot and cold, if someone is being not very nice, if someone is projecting their emotions and feelings towards you and making you feel so insecure and unhappy and really sad, then maybe, just maybe, they are not the right person for you. And the other thing as well, at this time, okay, they may not be the right person for you at this time. Keep that in mind, because sometimes people can change, okay? So that's another thing to keep in mind. This is a very honest reading. Honestly, it really is a very, very honest reading. I just feel here that so many of you are feeling stuck, right? And the thing here is that you're feeling stuck based off of other people's actions and choices as well. And when you feel that way, you may feel like you've lost your power. You actually haven't lost your power. It's the universe working with you rather than against you. The universe is saying, look, okay, if you felt rejected by a situation, that's not because you're not good enough. It's because we don't think that it's good enough for you. Should I repeat that? If you've been rejected by a specific person, it's not that you are not good enough for them. The universe believes they are not good enough for you. Yeah. Remember, there is always a higher power at work. And it may also be that they're not good enough for you right now. Maybe they could be good enough for you in the future, right? So that's another thing as well, because I feel like so many of you are so empathic, you're so kind, you're so genuine, you feel emotion, you want stability, you want happiness, you know who you are to a degree, for sure, right? I mean, we can always work on ourselves, but you know who you are. It's just that you haven't been treated so well, and you just think to yourself, wow, like I am like this, you know, you're not saying this in an egoistic way or feeling it in an egoistic way, but you know who you are in the sense of like, I'm so kind and so caring, so why would these people do this to me? Well, like I mentioned, the universe does not believe that at this time that they are the best for you, right? So divine interventions do take place, and ultimately there is something really good that's going to come your way, a person that will match your energy. And I just feel here that the best thing you can do right now is take care of yourself, put yourself first, look after you. I know it's really hard, I know it's really difficult, but regardless of whatever kind of situation you're in, whether you have never been in love before but you had a crush and maybe things didn't work out, or you just couldn't go to them, or there was someone here that rejected you or walked away from you, whatever happened here, rejection is redirection. I'm a huge believer of that. I've seen it happen countless times, okay? Not just to me, but also like friends and people around me. Like, trust me, there is always a blessing in there. You don't recognize it straight away, but you recognize it in time. But also, I've witnessed it happen to hundreds of clients that I work with personally. So it is one of those things, and then they'll come back to me and they'll be like, Moonlight, you were right, like that was just not meant to be. You know, it doesn't mean that it won't be for the entire future. It could be that the person changes, they come back around, you know, as a better person for you, right? You don't want to be with a person who's like this. In fact, if they could change and be the kind of person that then comes towards you, then that's the kind of person you want to be with, even if it's the same person, right? So that's the thing, is that they may not be right for you at this time. Doesn't mean that they're not ever going to be right, but that's the thing I want to mention as well, for sure, is that, you know, whilst you can allow there to be closeness, you know, and you can spiritually think of this person and keep them close to you, also give space. That's a very, very important thing. Otherwise, it leads to attachment, codependency, and this sense of like needing, which actually can just make you wait and wait and wait and wait and wait, and then nothing happens, you know, because the law of attraction, detachment is really the key. So that's very, very important. That's why the law of attraction works, is because in the moment, you know what you want, and you want it, and you want it, and you're manifesting it. But then in order to let your law of attraction come to fruition, you have to let go of it, surrender it to the divine, surrender it to the universe, so that the universe can actually give it to you. Otherwise, if you're just holding on to it, how do you give it to the universe? You know what I mean? So that's the thing, is that we have to sometimes be brave in letting go and having acceptance, and just knowing that whatever's happening somehow is happening for a purpose, is happening for a reason, is happening, you know, for a real reason, you know. And I think that that's just so hard to understand at times. It's so confusing, and it's so frustrating, and it's so overwhelming, because we literally have no idea what's going on. But that's the thing, is that it just is. It is what it is, yeah, that's the thing that I really do see here. So these are urgent love messages for you, implying some of these things in your life, and continuing to do what you can and what you love to do, and just not letting somebody else's actions dictate what you do emotionally, right? Because say, for example, someone's not nice to you, or they're hot and cold with you, it could ruin your entire day, but then why are you letting their actions ruin your day emotionally, right? So it's really about taking that control and being like, okay, well, if you're doing that, that's your problem. I'm going to continue to watch my TV show, or do my hard work that I have to do. Your emotions and how you treat others it's their problem, okay? And that's the thing here, is that you may think that their problems are your problems, but that's because you're really empathic, okay? So the thing here is to really try and separate that energy with this, which is very, very important, because you may feel like, okay, like their trauma, their problems, that must be, you know, I can help them, you know, but actually that can drain you further and actually make you feel even worse long term, which we don't want, obviously. Anywho, so this is your reading group number 3. I mean, when I say that these are urgent love messages, these are urgent love messages. There's nothing that isn't urgent about this, because it is a very, you know, important thing to talk about. So this is your reading. Of course, if this resonated with you, let me know in the comment section below. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Check out the description box below for information on private paid readings, free reading giveaway, and of course intention items, which are on my website. And definitely do take care, everyone. Bye. Okay, so now we go to, last but not least, right? Group number 4. I hope the microphone is okay. I really just hope it pulls through for the 1 hour reading. Otherwise, yeah, it's one of those things, isn't it? I've recorded readings before for 1 hour to 2 hours. Oh yeah, and then the computer froze, the thing freezes, or my microphone doesn't work. Yeah, it definitely happens. I just hope that, because I'm using this microphone for the pick a card reading for the first time here, I hope nothing happens and that you can hear me, because I'm also filming this during Mercury retrograde. Anyways, fingers crossed, fingers crossed. Otherwise you probably won't see this on the channel, right? It's one of those things. Alright, so let's have a look and see. Alright, so group number 4. We have got here urgent love messages for you. Let's have a look and see what we have. Alright, so you've got this beautiful blue crystal which matches so perfectly with this card. So actually, we put that right there. Alright, and your message here is this one, and it says balance, which I guess makes a lot of sense considering you've got the yin and the yang right at the top there. So it says, love is not always about agreeing just for the sake of it. A great relationship is one that both supports and challenges. And this is really important for me to talk about, because I feel here that balance is just so significant. I feel like if you are always the one trying to make amends, if you're always the one trying to fix things, if you're always the one trying to do literally everything, right? Where is the balance, right? If you're the one that is always trying to initiate conversations, initiate, what do you call it when people meet up? Initiate meetups. Wow, okay. Did I really just not know? Wow. Things like that. Then where is the balance, right? Because a relationship needs balance. Remember, a relationship isn't always just about the good stuff. It's also about the difficulties and how you can overcome those difficulties, because a relationship is not always going to be perfect. I don't care what kind of relationship it is. Every relationship will go through a difficulty or a struggle or a challenge. It's how you get through those that can actually define and make or break a connection, and whether it lasts and things like that. So one thing I want to say is that if you're looking for just good in a connection, then it's one of those things where I think it's realistic to expect that sometimes things may not go to plan. But if you're someone that is always just looking and you're just seeing that there's only bad, and it just makes you feel so emotional and frustrated and overwhelmed, well then you have to understand that where's the good in there as well? What makes you happy in the connection? That's a really important part, because you don't want to be sort of in a connection that just always takes things away from you emotionally, mentally, physically, spiritually. So this is very, very important, okay, to analyze. So if you're in a connection or a relationship right now, try and figure out where the balance is. Is there much of a balance? Is there not? Where is it lacking? Because balance is very, very important. Some of you are looking for a sign whether you should stay or go in a certain connection. And I think that this will really allow you to sort of understand where the balance is and where it's not. The other thing as well is that if you're completely single, just know that this is, I think, what many of you are looking for. You're looking for a nice balanced connection where you can be yourself, but also where you can get through obstacles and challenges, difficulties and struggles without being the only one doing so. So let's see what Tarot is telling us. Right, because some of you may be thinking, I just need a connection that is like perfect and amazing, and it will be amazing and perfect, but it can also have challenges. Of course it can. Any connection will have challenges. But for those of you that are stuck in like really difficult connections or toxic connections, remember that there has to also be the flip side, which is that it should feel supportive, it should feel good, it should feel nurturing. You know, we cannot have too much of one and not enough of the other, because then it's unbalanced, right? So we've got here the Seven of Wands, which literally is such a balancing act. I mean, look at this person struggling, you know, struggling to balance themselves, but getting through those obstacles. The Ten of Swords here also shows that some of you may still be dwelling on things from the past that maybe were not actually very balanced, but you somehow still cannot let go. So that's another thing to keep in mind. There are many different situations I'm seeing here, so bear with me, because I will get to reading different scenarios. But the one I see here is that for those of you that have gone through past situations, you may feel like you cannot let go of this. But then I think, where's the balance? You know, is it mutual? That's the other thing, is that if you want a connection and the other person doesn't really want that in return, then is it balanced? You have to do that. And then if it's not, then of course you have to retract your energy, take care of yourself, put yourself first, and give that love to you, right? Because investing in a situation where it's not so equal or mutual can actually end up being very, very painful and hurtful and upsetting. And really just very, very overwhelming. We don't really want it to be like that. I think that's very important to know as well. There you go. So actually, do you know what? The two Sphinx that you see at the bottom represent Tao, and Tao is also connected to Yin and Yang in the history of tarot, from when I was studying tarot pretty extensively. So you've got that Yin and Yang energy there. You also have the Yin and Yang energy on the back here as well. Some of you may be thinking about twin flame connections as well. Twin flame connections are quite significant, but also soulmate connections as well represent that energy. 7 to the 8 here does show that there will be progression and much more harmony, balance, and sort of this rejuvenation energy in your relationship. So if you're really panicking about that, I do feel like things will progress and things will come together. Okay, let's take these. Okay, so you've got Justice, which is all about balance. I mean, you just can't make this up, to be honest. Okay, so I just feel here that a more balanced connection is going to come your way. And I just feel like it's one of those things, especially with the Ten of Swords, where if it was not balanced before, it's also about putting in those healthy boundaries, loving yourself, putting yourself first, taking care of yourself, just like how the Empress does for herself. You know, like she really puts herself first. She's proud. She is working hard. You know, she's got her harvest. Venus energies. By the way, Venus also rules over Libra, and that's one of the most powerful things we have here is the Justice energy, because justice is about getting what you deserve, right? So I just feel here that a very, very urgent love message is that a more balanced relationship and connection is coming your way. There is fulfillment, there is progression, you got the water energy of the flow, you know, so again, you are going to experience this and have this. It is part of your journey, especially from the 6 to the 7 to the 8. There is definitely a lot more happiness and joy and fulfillment coming your way. There's a lot more progression coming your way. There's a lot more happiness coming your way. There's just so much more basically coming your way. So I just feel here in so many ways that there is more progression, there is more joy, there is so much more. I would say enjoy the process rather than just focusing on the destination, because that can actually feel so overwhelming and frustrating and upsetting. And obviously you don't really want to feel like that, right? You want to feel excited and rejuvenated for the things that manifest for you, rather than the other way around. So definitely with Justice, I just feel like the most important thing that you really truly can do is take care of you and put yourself first, because really with the Knight of Swords and Justice, the biggest thing that I really can tell you here is that I do see things being resolved in your love life as well, where things can be a lot more balanced, because Justice is also about resolving things. It's about things coming to, a mutual resolve. For some of you, okay, only some of you, you may be going through separations. And so that's another thing that I pick up on here. When I speak of separation, I'm talking like, a legal separation. So divorce, for example, and you're wondering like, okay, when is that all going to come, to a close? So I feel like there can be here, that energy of things coming, to a close and becoming much more balanced, where you can actually have that all resolved. So that's something I'm seeing. For others of you, you've been through difficulties in the past and now a really serving relationship is coming your way. I really sense that the Libra energy is really, really strong here. So it could be that you have been dealing with a Libra, or a Libra is going to approach you. Wow, that's exciting, right? Libra is also ruled by Venus, so they seem to be very loving, kind, caring, and also very balanced. I read somewhere, and I don't know how accurate this is, but I'm just going to say it anyways. I heard somewhere that, you know, the Libra energy is very beautiful and very soulful, so they can be also very, very attractive. So that's something to keep in mind. Although I feel like attraction exists in, you know, all the signs, to be honest. You know, you'll find very attractive people in all different signs, but apparently the Libra energy is one of beauty, and I actually do believe that that's somehow true because, you know, the cusp, or the Virgo Libra cusp is also known as the cusp of beauty. So there is this energy that sort of ties in with the Libra, which is to do with beauty. So there's something about beauty and Libra. I'm actually also on the cusp of Virgo and Libra. Interestingly enough, literally as I bring that up, but yeah, it's known as the cusp of beauty. And there's loads of other cusps, but none of them seem to point towards that sort of beauty aspect, which again I think is really tied to Libra energy. Anyways, so what I see here is there's more balance, more beauty, more fulfillment, more joy, more happiness, and 6, 7, and the 8 of Wands shows progression. You've got Venus supporting you here as well. So what I would definitely say, and I think is really important, is that don't always feel like you have to agree just for the sake of it, right? Because sometimes the ideas and what comes from your true self, where you might be like, oh no, but actually, do you know what, I think things need to be like this, can actually really intrigue the other person and make the other person feel like, wow, you're not just, you know, always agreeing with me. The other thing as well is that there are some people out there that just need to always have someone who agrees with them. But that's not you really being yourself, right? So you need to be yourself, and you need to really be yourself 100%, because that's the kind of connection that is going to be so much more fulfilling and more joyful, rather than you always agreeing for the sake of it and then losing yourself in the process. Because that's what happens with a lot of people. They feel like, oh, I just agree with this person on this and this and this and this. And by the time they have gone through, like, you know, their connection, they've literally lost themselves, because they are no longer themselves. They're just agreeing with the other person on everything just to make them happy. They lose themselves. So don't agree just for the sake of agreeing. Be yourself wholeheartedly, and if a situation works, then it works. If it doesn't work, it's okay. Better is coming. More balanced connections are coming. More fulfillment and joy is coming, and you'll feel so much better in the process. And that is literally it. You know, you'll feel better, you'll feel happier, you'll feel stronger, you'll feel so much more uplifted, and you won't have to always force certain things to happen. And that is literally that. I mean, imagine, you know, trying to always force things to happen and trying to make things happen all the time. It is a lot, you know, and I think that that is very, very significant and really, really strong. So that's really the biggest thing that I will, you know, that I will tell you. So yeah, that is that. Very urgent love message, but a very significant one for sure. I just feel like that's, of course, just so powerful and beautiful, you know, in the grand scheme of things, but also just really, really necessary when I look at things, you know. So yeah, that is what we have. So look, more balance, more harmony is going to come your way, so long as you are not afraid to be yourself and to really just be you. You know, the biggest thing I can tell you here is be yourself, because that's where you'll find the most fulfilling relationships. Staying in relationships where you cannot be yourself and you have to walk on eggshells and you have to always say yes to the other person is not you. Like that's not you, right? That's not you, it's them. So I think that that's really important as well in so many ways, is to make sure that you can take care of yourself and you can put yourself first without always bending over to others. Otherwise, it's just going to take away so much in your energy, and it's not going to make you feel happy. It's not going to make you feel good. And at the end of the day, you want to feel good. Okay, so let's just get a couple more cards here. Strength card and the 5 of Swords. This is really important on so many levels, because I just feel here, especially with the 5 of Swords and the Strength card, you really, really do want to take care of yourself and put yourself first and do the most you can for you. The more you feel like you always have to do things for others, and the more you always have to constantly put yourself in a place where, you know, it just doesn't feel good or you're not happy because of someone else, the more it will actually irk you and irritate you, and then the more you will want to get that clarification from them, and that, what's the word? You want to get validation from them, right? The more someone annoys you and the more you go with it, the more you will have that resentment towards them as well. And so what you want to do is you just want to be yourself from the beginning, because otherwise you want, you know, them to really do more towards you, which is understandable because they make you feel that way. But the biggest thing here is to just allow things to naturally flow, allow things to naturally come together. And you know what? If that flow and direction does not suit you, then change your direction. That's very, very important, right? You don't want to be in a situation where you're just literally trying to do things, favorably for the other person and losing yourself in the meantime, and then feeling annoyed that they didn't even validate the fact that you did so much for them when they probably didn't ask you to do that, right? So I think that's really, really important. Otherwise, that can overwhelm you and frustrate you and just not be great. So yeah, moral of the story here is be you and just allow things to be balanced. That's a very, very key and crucial part of everything that we see here. Otherwise, it can just be so overwhelming, frustrating, and challenging. So that is your reading here that we are seeing. Group number 4. If this resonated with you, let me know in the comment section below. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Check out the description box below for information on private paid readings, free reading giveaway, and of course intention items which are on my website, which thousands of people have seen results with. And of course, I do have TikTok and Instagram if you wanted to follow me on there. I post short readings every single day on there, which are different to the ones on YouTube, but all the information, the links are in the description box below if you want to follow me on there. Take care, everyone.